welcome to another episode of Chatty Broads with Becca and Jess.
Well, hello, broads.
Good morning. Remember, I just had a memory. Remember what I used to say in Paradise last time? It was like beachy bitches.
Oh, yeah.
Beach bitches.
Sandy sluts.
Yes, Sandy sluts. It's been too long.
And
Morning,
honestly,
Sandy sluts.
I am feeling beachy and sandy right now because we only have to recap one damn episode. And I am so happy because we can actually
Such a relief.
talk about it in depth and not just be trying to blaze through everything.
I know.
It's just too much.
Will it only be one episode?
I think the
forward?
remainder.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the gods of
Hallelujah.
reality TV because I can't do it anymore.
I won't be on the next one, but at least I'm only missing one episode.
I know. Luckily, you're not
gonna
missing
be
the
in
finale.
I'm going to be in Paradise.
You really will be.
in Mexico.
I'm excited for you.
I'm excited.
We'll try to keep the spirit alive.
Yeah. Thank you.
Something I am very excited about today. We are joined by a guest. Now, broads, if you follow an account on Instagram, Unpaid Emotional Labor, you know that it is perhaps one of the best, in our opinion, commentaries.
If you don't follow, you
Follow
should
immediately, because while the show is airing, this individual provides the best meme commentary content of the show, in my opinion, by a mile. Okay, facts. I get distracted from watching the show because I'm following along with her content, and she has agreed to come on our show today to recap. Sophie James, welcome.
Hi. I'm literally like squealing because I'm like, these are lies. What is this? Don't.
It is so true.
I for disappointment, guys.
I've been getting so distracted recently watching the episode because I'm just waiting for your next meme to pop up because I'm just like, tell me how to feel right now, Sophie.
I watch all of them. Actually, no, that's not true. Not always. But sometimes I watch like half of them beforehand and I'm like, what is she talking about? And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to find out.
Ugh, gets me
But
all
even if
sorts
you
of
had
excited.
context, so what's going on? The
I know, I can't
devolution of her mind is fascinating.
Oh, yeah, and Sophie always has these crazy names and I like sometimes I don't know who you're talking about even watching that episode. I'm like, wait, is Jim Catalog Joe Joe?
Jim Catalog Joe, Inspector Gadget is Grocery Store Joe. He has since renounced that title and he's gone to greener pastures. So I try not to talk about anyone's looks or say anything like normal Bachelor content accounts are just kind of like just mean and not original. So I just stick to...
You're like, I am mean and original.
Exactly. So Jim Catalog Joe was courtesy of my favorite Kelsey, and it was this weird conversation of getting to know Joe on the beach. And she's like, oh, well, we call you Jim Joe. And he's like, what? Yeah, because you dress like you was walked out of a gym catalog. And I'm like, this is brilliant. I need more of Kelsey. And then she looks over to Brendan. And he's like, wait, what do you call me? And she's like, oh, you're best dressed. And it's just like, you just shaded the hell out of this man. Now he's sweaty and sullen in the corner. I was like, oh, no, you're best dressed. And so I'm just like, Jim Catalog Joe, that's his name.
Honestly, we know, though, at least it didn't hurt Jim Catalog Joe's feelings too bad because we see him in this episode in sweat socks on a strewn out.
This purple sateen basketball court. Like, where did he get them? And just the regular Jim Catalog gray shirt. It was truly horrific.
I was dying. I was actually...
the sheen, and it was like a night shoot. How is there shine off of those basketball shorts? What was that? It was too much.
That's how you know they're that shiny.
And then the funny thing is like, I remember hanging out with Joe in person one time and he was wearing like Comme des Garçons jeans. And I was like, wait a second, what's happening here? Who are you truly?
It's so confusing. I was also laughing because I was listening to Clickbait, their recent episode.
You're giving them listens?
I'm giving Clickbait, of course. I'm figuring out.
You don't just listen to Chatty Broads for your Bachelor
I just listen to Chatty Broads on a loop over and over again just to make sure our numbers stay good.
Jessica, Ed 2.
No, but I was listening listening to clickbait because I'm like, I need to find out. Natasha, you know, talked about the whole Brendan situation and her and Pieper's quote on, you know, her non-relationship with Pieper, which we can talk about. But they were shading Joe so much for his clothes on the episode, and he actually seemed personally offended to the point where Tayshia was like, "All right, we'll be done. We can move on the topic because you seem like this is really bothering you."
He seemed unsettled on the beach. He was like, really, like, do I look that bad?
Yes, he's been a little unsettled in general.
I mean, I was just waiting for like the big toe, for there to be like a hole in the sock, just for it to finally, okay, this is the look. This makes sense.
Yeah, I need a little bit of something. Give me a little.
Exactly, like, oh, authentic. There we go. Give me, like, it's just too much. And then Serena, God bless her. But, you know, where do you want to start, guys?
Okay, so we should start with, I mean, the episode pretty much starts out with the attack on, attack is a strong word, attack on Brendan and Pieper, which I am curious to hear, since you listened to clickbait, what is Natasha's take on her relationship with Pieper? Please tell us. Enlighten us.
Okay, so Natasha said here a few things.
Did they address Piper's like little statement or no?
They didn't really like hone in on her statement,
don't like
but
do
they
that kind of thing.
They talked about it a little bit, but it was kind of a brief overview.
Okay.
The biggest thing that Natasha wanted to talk about, first of all, is that my theory is thrown out the window, which goodbye to my theory, because it was a hurtful theory for her. We don't want that for Natasha.
She was like, I don't know her.
And so it's like, I apologize, Natasha. My theory is getting out of hand. The truth of the matter is that she met Pieper in person one time at the nail salon.
Yeah.
She invited Kit to get her nails done and said, hey, bring some of the girls from your season. It's kind of like an event. You know how those events go. And so Pieper was there and she said, we did talk. And she told me that she was kind of starting to see Brendan.
Okay.
And Natasha said, I've never met Brendan before. The trip where like everyone was in New York, she was in Mexico at the time. But she says when she went on the beach with Brendan that she had multiple conversations that were edited out of the show where she talks about the fact that she has met Pieper before and did talk to Pieper about the fact that she was talking to Brendan. Which she said she even brought up on the beach that they cut out that she got her nails done with Pieper. And she's like, I didn't do this whole, like, I don't know who Pieper is. She's like, however they made it look, we had the conversation. I even brought up the nail salon. She said, that's why I specifically then pulled Brendan aside.
Oh my God.
And was like, hey, so this whole Pieper thing, like she knows that they had been seeing each other. How serious is it basically? Because she's heard from Pieper.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brendan, you know, did the whole like we've maybe gone out twice, and then just continued to reassure Natasha that he has had more intense conversations already with Natasha, that everything with Pieper is just casual. And Natasha said, from my perspective, she's like, I was told by Pieper that Pieper was not going to be going on Bachelor in Paradise because she couldn't get work off.
Oh.
So she said when Brendan showed up on the beach, okay, so it is casual. Because if you're actually dating someone, you're not going to come here. And Piper's not coming because Pieper has work. And I already talked to her about it. So there's this angle where...
Liars! Nothing but liars!
They're so lazy at it.
So I'm guessing that maybe...
And if they saw each other the day before he left for Paradise, obviously they both knew that she was coming on.
Yes.
Obviously. He wasn't a bit surprised when she showed up.
No, of course not. Natasha was, though.
Yes, sure.
Because Natasha, you know, obviously, of course, if you're part of the show, you know that they're always going to try to fuck you over and throw you for a loop. So there's obviously in the back of your head, like, Pieper might walk down. But I've talked to Pieper. Pieper couldn't get work off. Brendan said that this is very casual. So what am I supposed to think?
She was deceived.
She was fully deceived.
Bamboozled?
And she said then she was thrown off too. And then Pieper came down and they were talking because she said she brought up to Pieper in their conversation that was edited out. Like, hey, you and I had talked when we got to the nails. You said that you were kind of seeing him and I didn't, you know, blah, blah, blah. So she said that they edited out a bunch of stuff where she talks about the fact that she knew the background situation going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
What the hell?
This is truly shocking. This reminds me of the news break of last week where we found out it was Mari's idea to have the birthday party for Kenny.
Oh, yeah.
Demi came in and soup that. So this is, I mean, that's the kind of context that may change things a little bit. But my question is, what made Natasha think she was so all in with Brendan? Did she give context to that? Because that's what I have not been able to understand.
She did.
So they lied. Okay, they played what you guys are all here to do. But what was this fascination? She had on her widow's black yesterday with the red lip. What was this connection she felt like could not have been taken up by, smite hungry Aaron or somebody else?
Right.
So she says, this is then when Tayshia had some things to say too.
Okay.
Because this got Tayshia upset. Apparently, immediately on the beach, she wasn't like beelining towards Brendan. They started talking. She felt like they had a good connection. Brendan kept saying very clearly to Natasha that he wanted to take things slow because of his divorce. He's very fragile and he still isn't ready. So Natasha said that he kept doing this whole thing like, I'm taking it slow because of my divorce. I'm still hurt. I'm still da-da-da-da. So Natasha said even the first episode where Brendan comes down and he's doing the ITM where he's like, I'm a new man. She's like, I'm fuming watching it because she's like, I haven't seen these ITMs yet. And he's been telling me, I'm not ready for or I need to take things slow. I need to take things slow. And he told her after he had his date with Demi, he came back and was like, and she's like, so you guys like made out and da-da-da. And he goes, yeah. Like I didn't want to, she grabbed me and, I want to take things slow. And he kept making her feel like we have this emotional connection. Like he was saying, I have a deeper emotional connection with you, but I want to take things slow because of my divorce. So Tayshia on clickbait is like, fuck that noise.
Also, which he says again in the episode, and Natasha has 0% chance with anyone else here.
I have to laugh to keep from coming because I would have gone to jail.
Oh.
Any man said, she had no prospects. And you wouldn't have been here. You wouldn't have lasted as long if I didn't keep giving you out these pity roses. I would have slapped the dog shit out of him.
Yes. You would have been banned from the beach like Jordan Kimball.
1000%. Would I have body slammed someone? No. But it would have been a physical altercation. And it would not have been pretty. And so he's a trash human. And I've even with my unpopular opinion of how the whole Brendan Pieper Natasha situation kind of looked like to me.
Sure.
It's indisputable. He is a trash human being, to quote Trey of Spy Kids fame. But to add that piece is I'm fragile, I'm weak from my divorce, we would have been fighting.
So what did Tayshia say?
Oh, no. Well, Tayshia was just like, you could tell that Tayshia was trying to hold back and not maybe give too much information. Like Tayshia was saying too, she's like, I don't want to make this about me and my relationship with Brendan. She's like, but obviously things that you're saying feel familiar to me when Brendan left and it was the divorce piece. Yep. And she's like, the fact, and then Tayshia was saying, she's like, the fact that, she's like, I've been through a divorce myself. She's like, Brendan and I bonded over the pain that causes. She's like, so when someone uses the pain of a divorce and the trauma of a divorce to try to manipulate the situation, like, goodbye forever. But I'm the same as you, Sophie. It was like, I had these questions about my perspective about the Brendan Pieper Natasha situation. But there's never been a question in my mind.
Yeah.
With the way that Brendan behaved was just absolutely despicable. And then after listening to clickbait and hearing the behind the scenes from Natasha, it was just like, Brendan, looks like you're going to lose another 100K, my guy.
Embarrassing.
He needs to go back to, what was he before? What was his job? He was some kind of contractor. Just go back to spackling and shellac because it's not going to, your prospects are done. He cannot milk this whatever, or the followers or the math that he was doing, like Rain Man, you're not getting anything out.
Okay. Ridiculous. Also, do we want to talk about his reel?
Yes.
His acting reel.
Did you see his acting reel?
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I thought that he was a better actor than Greg by a landslide.
By a mile. A much better actor than Greg.
You mean he was better than the pointing fingers and the 90s comic bit?
Oh my.
I really hate that man. Like, I mean, my hatred for Greg is
Knows no bounds.
That's in therapy. It's just not okay. It's not okay.
Okay, bros, we have to take a quick pause before we dive more into this. Tell me this, why do we all go by these traditional retail sizes? Why? Tell me, what does a medium person look like? How do two people wear a medium when they're different heights? Okay, pants are made to fit one type of body, right? And everyone else has to just settle then for a less than perfect fit. You are a measurement, not a size, okay? And pants should take that into account more than just one measurement. You don't have to change. Shopping for clothes does. No one wants to take their athleisure wear to the tailor when you're spending that much money on performance wear. It should fit, but it rarely does. And that's why you've got to check out Public Rec. They make athleisure wear to waist and inseam sizes because they believe comfort starts with a better fit.
And they're so good. Public Rec's all-day jogger. Okay, I got this in the mail. Gray thought that I had ordered him sweatpants. And he was like, are these mine? No, they didn't fit him. But then he was like, does this brand have men's pants? And I was like, yes, they do.
Oh
so
my
he made
God.
me get on and wanted me to order him a pair of his own all-day joggers.
They're so
immediately. Okay, so these are first of their kind technical pants available in waist and inseam sizes. So this means we can shop based on our unique proportions, and they have options. There are 30 combination sizes and 4 different length options. So these joggers will fit your body perfectly in all the right places. Oh, and they are super thick, high rise, no roll waistbands, and they keep the comfort going all day long. Public Rec spent years engineering the perfect blend of softness, stretch, and durability. And it's all the performance benefits you love with the added style for more formal occasions.
And you can tell that they have spent years engineering it because it's just the perfect fit. It's everything. I have never had pants that fit so well. And on top of that, they're so cute. So, hey, great added bonus. Public Rec, not just joggers. They've got incredibly comfortable t-shirts, sweatshirts, and jackets. So you can now enjoy Public Rec's better fitting comfort in all aspects of your wardrobe.
Public Rec rarely discounts, but right now they have an exclusive offer just for Chatty Broads listeners. Go to publicrec.com and use our code Chatty to receive 10% off. That's publicrec.com and use promo code Chatty for 10% off. I haven't seen any other brands do sizing like Public Rec does, so check them out.
Yeah, they're amazing. Broad, so for the longest time, I was a silent sufferer of, numerous things, but mostly of anxiety and sleeplessness. Okay, I would get in bed, spend the next 4 hours in a rabbit hole of anxious thought, right? Get a few hours of bad sleep and then spiral because I was tired all day the next day. Let me just say that is not a way to live your life. It sucks. No, thank you. It does not have to be like that, though, okay? With the help of Feels Premium CBD, you can be feeling your best all the time. Feels Premium CBD has helped me so much with my anxiety and sleeplessness.
Yeah, I literally actually took Feels last night for a migraine that I had because I use it a lot to combat pain. I know some people might get freaked out by the term CBD because they haven't used it before or they aren't sure how it works. And Feels gets that, so that's why they have their free CBD hotline to help walk you through the process, and they'll help you find your perfect dose. And once you're ready to start using Feels, you just place a few drops under your tongue when you think you need it, and you feel the difference in just minutes.
And if this isn't your first go around with CBD, then make sure you join the Feels community so you can get your Feels CBD delivered right to your door every month. You'll always have it on hand when you need it. Plus, you'll save money on each order.
Start feeling better with Feels. Become a member today by going to feels.com/chatty, and you'll get 50% off your first order with free shipping. That's feals.com/chatty to become a member and get 50% off taken off your first order with free shipping. Feels.com/chatty.
So fall is, to me, is all about fresh starts. Maybe it stems from my school days, back to school shopping, new school supplies, and always my personal care got a bit of an upgrade. New perfume, makeup,
Ooh, that's the
Smackers,
best.
right? Smackers lip gloss in my younger years. But this fall, let's look to also upgrade the personal care routines of the men in our lives, because why the heck not? They deserve it too. If that sounds like a mountain-sized task, let us introduce you to Hawthorne. They make personal care for men easier than it's ever been.
Hawthorne is so cool because it's elevated, but it's not complicated. Which, let's be real, that's the dream personal care routine for everyone. I mean, really, the first and only step is to take Hawthorne's quiz. Either you have your man take it, or if it's a gift, take it for him. Hawthorne will ask things like, how often do you work out? What's your ideal night off? Describe your skin, so on and so forth. And then based on the answers, they develop the perfect routine that includes products specifically for your guy, tailored to his body, his skin, his hair, and his lifestyle.
I swear, broads, every guy, would love an updated personal care routine, even if they're not telling you. Who doesn't want that? I've always gifted Hawthorne gift sets for so many birthdays, Christmases, and stocking stuffers. It's always a hit and is my go-to for many men throughout the past 2 years. And let me tell you, Evan's Hawthorne products, dreamy. I sniff him all over the house. Smells so sexy.
Take Hawthorne's quiz today and get started on your personalized self-care routine by going to hawthorne.co and use promo code chatty to get 10% off your first purchase. That's HAWTHORNE.co, promo code chatty. Hawthorne.co, promo code chatty.
But he has an acting reel. This is legit. You guys aren't pranking me.
You haven't seen it?
No,
Brendan's?
I don't listen. I only follow 120 people.
Okay. You haven't seen Brendan's reel.
Anyone from Bachelor Nation, no.
Okay.
Sophie, I will send it to you immediately after this podcast is over. People are clowning on the reel, and
it's not that
there's
bad.
one scene where he is kind of doing a James Dean-esque, red under the eyes screaming moment, and it's the most expressive we've ever seen Brendan times 1,000.
Kind of like the Nicolas Cage face-off scene.
Yeah, just him screaming, where he's just like, "This is who I am," and you're like, "Oh my God, Brendan!"
Oh my God!
I mean, he gave it a little bit to us in the Joe confrontation where we saw Brendan's blood pressure rise for the first time.
That does not concern you. That gave me a lot of. Oh, okay, I see. He was pulling from a few good men. You can't hit the truth. I get. Okay, it's making sense. That scene was so bizarre to me. Now I know. He wanted to be an actor.
It's an actor. So my thing is, it's these men who want to be these actors, and then they have. I'm like, I would live. What I pray for is on Michelle's season that we have a handsome man stroll in, and he says, "Hi, Michelle. I am here. I am an actor. I'm an aspiring actor, and I'm really into you." And I'm like, let's just be honest from the front. I'm not going to shun you because you're an actor. We're all here on screen. Really, there's cameras everywhere.
Okay, so I was scrolling back in Tammy's feed because Grayston and I were arguing about whether or not she's gotten lip fillers. That's what we do while we're watching Paradise. And I was like, no, she hasn't had lip fillers. Scrolling back, Tammy also used to be an actress.
I cannot.
Really?
Going out for auditions, hashtag model life, hashtag actress life.
This is my guess that at least half of the people on the show have been, I would say at least 75% have done modeling. And then probably at least 25 to 30 have tried their hand in acting.
That's a high percentage.
It is.
Because technically, if I audition for the show, they'd be like, there's photos that you can find of me with my headshots in college when I was doing my theater. And I'm like, I'm the type of person who'd want to go on a reality TV show. Why?
True.
Because I love the camera and I love attention.
Yeah. I mean, and yeah, like you're talking about with the modeling too and good looking people. You want to know something interesting? I did a survey of the house on the when I was on The Bachelor about breast implants.
Survey of the house.
Over 30% of the women in the house, when there was over 20 of us, had breast implants, which is an extremely high percentage. So these percentages are
quality research.
Not that that says anything about anyone having them, but I was just proportionate to the population. This is an extremely high percentage.
The content I'm looking for, honestly, is for people to be on the show, come off the show, and post the exact. If they have breast implants, please post your surgeon's names because Mama is looking to get a lift in the near future.
And these are looking
they are beautiful.
Real nice.
This is the content that I'm needing. I don't know where to go. Please let me know.
Also give us your acting agent's info as well.
That's the thing. Okay, so this whole tangent is just fascinating to me because that was my hot take last week of why are we pretending that they aren't in a show to gain clout and followers and to monetize their brand.
Right.
What is this commitment? Right. Well, I get it. It's commitment to the craft. But the thing that I don't like, and I think the real villains are the producers, is because now you use these dog whistle terms to now outside of the scope of the show to where they're legitimizing these foaming at the mouth rabid raccoons to go and bully people who they're all playing the game in whatever angle. You want to be famous on a villain edit? Do you go crazy? Mm-hmm. You want to get famous on your Big Little Lies, shawl over the shoulder, looking out at the ocean like Natasha did, just doing a lot of Nicole Kidman work last week. Do that. Just be honest. Like Jess said, come on Michelle's season, say, hey, I'm just a guy looking for love who happens to be an actor. You know, like, why are we all pretending like this is real?
Because anyone will weaponize that at any point that they get. I mean, it happened on my season of The Bachelor. I was in the house with all the women and I was like, ladies, we're all on the same page, right? You know? And I thought that they were I thought that they were my friends. And so I'm like, wait until I have, you know, the Becca show following this. Wait until I'm the Bachelorette. Just, you know, chatting with friends, thinking that we're all chummy and on the same page of being self-aware that we're on a reality TV show. Meanwhile, 2 or 3 women are in ITMs being like, I can't believe that like Becca is here for fame and to be the Bachelorette. You know, it's like, so anytime anyone says anything remotely alluding to the real fact that everyone's on TV, everyone else takes that as an opportunity to jump down their throats.
That was the piece for me that was top notch confusing personally. Yeah. Was when Joe and his crew came for Brendan and Pieper, as Pieper calls the disgruntled females, where I took my TV and I smashed it into a million pieces against my wall.
Pieper said that too?
No, Brendan.
Oh, I was like, they both said females?
No.
I don't know why I heard you say
when
that.
he said disgruntled, I was like, sir, your fall from grace is so deep.
So deep.
So far.
I think he's still falling.
He's still falling.
He's still falling.
Yeah, like I haven't heard the thud quite yet.
Exactly. It hasn't happened yet.
Do you think he's just in his room, like throwing things like,
I mean,
like every time he sees 1,000 followers drop from his Instagram, he just gets into a rage.
I have this
he's
like
on a Zoom call with Greg. How do I pivot? Pivot? Like just like Ross from Friends. Like they are having a really good power lunch right now.
Yes.
Our best laid plans blew up in our faces. What are we to do?
Brendan's like, what did William Esper Academy teach you?
Yes.
Tell me your ways.
I just have this feeling I can't shake that Brendan and Greg currently are on like a 2-day getaway to like Miami because they're like, dude, I need to just cool off. I need some me time. Like turn the phone off, turn off social media, and they're just having this like getaway.
Well, don't talk about but my words are getting all messed up. Let's not talk about how every man in Bachelor Nation is hanging out with Greg.
They were literally like 5 blocks from me 2 weekends ago when I posted the picture of Jim Catalog Joe hanging out with them, literally in my neighborhood. And I'm just kind of like, 911. Just get them away from me. I don't want to hear them breathing. They're in my vicinity. Get them out of here.
Next paparazzi shot. Your Sophie's just in the background. She's just like,
they're in Fulton Market. Like literally, I could have watched their location and I would just live it.
Get out of my home. Okay, but what I was saying was with Joe and his crew, this is what took me a top-notch confusion. The opportunity for confrontation for Brendan about Natasha is so valid for the group to be like, hey guy, what you did to Natasha is so fucked up. Are we gonna address this? Yeah. Like the confrontation was and the opportunity for confrontation was laid right there for them. And yet the focus became this, why are you talking about followers? Like this the hyper fixation was not about him hurting Natasha. It was about like, you're not playing by the rules. And that was just so confusing to me. I was like, why isn't this becoming a big deal about what Brendan did to Natasha, and why are we obsessing over this whole idea about, you know, you guys were dating before? It's like everyone on the beach knows that producers talk to you before. You kind of game plan what your strategy is going to look like on the beach to a certain extent. And then, like you were saying, Sophie, and then Blake H, our king, going off on his Instagram stories last night was just like the hypocrisy. He's like, every single person on the beach talks about all their followers and that they're going to make more money. And that he's like, when the cameras are off and the mics are off, that's what everyone is talking about. Oh, I'm like, why didn't you just approach the Natasha thing? Yeah.
Like, where I need the ordinances, I need the subsections. Like, where is this rule book that Jim Joe brought up all of a sudden, and everyone was like, "Yup, you can't do that." Can't, like, what is going on? And then Weld is like, that's the only rule. Don't come with if you have a relationship. Were you not there when Demi brought on her?
Okay, let's do that.
Now I'm jumping. Okay, I'm jumping. We'll get
but let's do. We can also go there right now.
I think that's the issue, because if Natasha kept looking at would cut to camera one more time last week, like she was Jim from The Office, I was going to have a stroke because I think she was fuming and just trying to get everyone to see. I'm like, wait a minute, you guys literally had veins popping out of your head. You bullied poor Chris and Alana. I don't know her, off the beach. Like, I don't even think she was able to get her checked luggage, and she was whisked back into the van.
She had her little backpack.
She only had her carry-on and her essentials. And her checked luggage was still, and the driver was literally pulling it out and like, oh, she's coming back. All right, close the trunk, let's go. And for it to be a full 24, 36, I don't know how time works on the beach, hours of them then kind of coming with having their Inquisition moment with Brendan. It was truly wild to me and confusing.
I think it's a telling moment. I think that, like so much in the world, when it is convenient for someone to stand up for a cause, when you have no personal or emotional stake in the matter, then the guns come out a-blazing. When it's a little inconvenient, when you have a little bit of emotional stake, when it affects you and your personal life in some way, maybe a little more hesitance on the matter.
Now we're turning into a TikTok. This is very highbrow.
This
academic NPR. Sorry to the regular listeners. We're getting to the thick of it. Sorry.
But I mean, it is so interesting. Like, there's so many layers to it. I heard
we saw Dr. Joe. Sorry to interrupt, but Sophie, we saw Dr. Joe come. Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there. I mean, my crush, was it short-lived? My betrothed, my soulmate. I have to let him go. My heart will go on, as Celine Dion says. It's been a wild 12 hours, to say the least. Yeah. Wild.
You were engaged to Dr. Joe. You're now questioning the engagement after what happened with the 10-gallon margarita dinner.
Gosh. And drinking, was there a fly in there? I wasn't sure if that was kind of like customary to margaritas in Mexico, or she was making a dig at the hygienic layers of their date. But that was intense. That was a lot.
Yeah, it was. There was a lot of moments on this episode that we can get into that were a lot.
But yeah, a lack of fury in the confrontation of Brendan.
Because we then see Pieper. Joe. So Joe, he's having these conversations. Natasha is finally, like, I shouldn't say finally, she's put in a position where it's like, okay, I'm actually going to sit down and tell everybody, hey, it's kind of hurtful that, like, you guys bullied Chris and Alana off the beach and no one's saying anything about me. And Joe's kind of like, oh, yeah, sorry. And I heard someone say, I forget who, but someone from the show was saying that, like, they were all friends with Brendan all the guys really liked Brendan a lot. So there's this thing of like, I don't want to confront
I think Demi
my
said
friend.
that actually, where Demi was like, well, everyone likes Brendan. That's why that didn't
I even
happen.
then I heard someone else talk about it, like who like confirmed it on like a podcast or something. And everyone really liked him. So like nobody really wants to confront him because it's not comfy because they're friends with him. So everyone finally goes over to talk to him, and the level of heat is not brought by Jim Catalog Joe. It is a whole different energy this time when confronting Brendan. That's for sure.
Yeah, and Brendan's response was just pathetic at best. At which point, I mean, Demi did go in, even though she had no place to
no
be
room to
speaking.
stand on. Like why is she here?
Mm-hmm. She went on a little bit of a roll on her Instagram stories.
Yes, let's talk about Demi now. Let's talk about it, because I said this to Sophie last night, and I said, prepare your notes.
Her defense was tomato.
Okay, so for context, listeners, Demi went in on Brendan and was like, you were using Natasha as a placeholder. You led her on. You were just on here for clout and followers. Why didn't you pursue your relationship off the beach, etc.? And then she went on her Instagram stories to talk about the very big differences between her relationship with Christian. Monumental.
How dare we accuse her?
Yeah, what were her reasons? Did you take notes?
Her reasons were the fact that Derek was aware the whole time. Everyone knew that, and she was saying in coming out and speaking about her bisexuality and the nuances of that and working through it, she let everyone know that there was someone back home. Now, what got lost in her soapbox moment is that she was conflating the fact that she was just coming out to certain castmates she trusted with, oh, I have someone I'm thinking of bring on. Those are two separate things. Mm-hmm. And then she then anchored it with, but she said she explicitly told Derek, I have this person that I was talking to before the show, and maybe struggling with, does she want her here, or struggling with talking to Derek while also having her on her mind. Completely different when you have production than actually bring this non-batch related person onto the beach out of nowhere. So her argument was still, I did deceive someone, but I let them know. So it's not the same as stringing someone along, and how Brenda did it very maliciously. But it was like, wait, so your defense is semantics or tomato? What is this? It was weird.
Well, also, if she was accusing Brendan of just coming on the show for like clout and followers when they should just stay at home and develop their relationship, I'm like, so then what were you coming on the show for when you had Christian at home? To like explore another partner? That's Bachelor bullshit that you're feeding the audience. If they're really supposed to believe that you came on to see if you could find someone else.
Exactly.
You saw when Christian came on what the reaction was. And again, she also used the semantics in her Instagram story, like, oh, we weren't exclusive. By the way, is the same argument that both Brendan and Pieper used. We weren't exclusive. Okay, what the hell does that mean? So you're telling me in both of your relationships, if you had been back home and one of you slept with someone else, that someone wouldn't be pissed? Because if that's what you're saying, I don't believe that.
And to have the pull to where you get production to agree to bring on someone that has probably we don't even know if Christian's ever watched an episode of The Bachelor or understand how the game works. So I felt like every time she was on the beach, she was just kind of like, wait, what? What's going on? What's happening? So it just was like, to have that level of pull, I think trumps the level of machinations she's accusing Brendan of spearheading. The only thing that Brendan, if we're following the logic that they want us to believe, the only thing that Brendan and Pieper were guilty of were being really bad actors and poor strategists.
Well, and Brendan was super, super mean and dismissive.
Brendan's trash. I'm talking about the argument as to
their relationships.
What they did was wrong. Because I think those are two separate things. The way that he berates and condescendingly talks to women is disgusting. And we already talked about how I'd have a felony charge against me if I was to see him in person, but connected to the logic they want us to follow of this, how it's just so bad to plan and to come on the beach with end results and different things. That logic, they were not wrong. Everyone's done it. And Demi should not have had the bullhorn on that one to kind of lead the charge.
No, and then the moment, I couldn't get over the moment where after Brendan and Pieper leave, that Demi's just like, well, I sure hope that we both, Natasha and I both get the roses because we deserve it after what Brendan put us through or whatever. And I'm like, are you comparing what Brendan...
You went on a 20-minute jet ski date. Like, what are we doing? Like, and she was trying to say it, like, pandering to the producers, like, if you guys are gonna give out these roses, I hope me and Natasha, we've been through the ringer. Like, sit your ass down. I was fuming at that moment.
I could not believe.
You gotta admire her for shooting her shot.
I know she's trying.
Out guns
she's
blazing.
Like, please don't make me leave this beach.
The way when the camera panned to her reaction when Wells did his hear ye, we think this, I mean, Becca's the one that's really great with running off sonnets and such. But when Wells had his moment and gave Natasha the rose of reparations, when they panned to Demi, I was squealing. Like, her bottom jaw has yet to close. She was shocked. Bamboozled hoodwinked.
Can we talk for a minute, by the way? I don't know why this came to mind. How the man I have the most pity for this entire season is James, who has been, you want to talk about bamboozled and hoodwinked?
Dude, Mob Boss
run amok.
Mob Boss is letting his business flounder. Like, he is like not there are not hits out like there was previously. He is just out here floundering alone. He does not have his like mob crew with him, and he is alone, and he is getting absolutely demolished out here.
Although you have to give him credit, he has survived so long.
How?
The man,
he came in the cut, he came into frame, and I was like, oh, wait, he's still here. Like, I was so shocked that James is still here.
You want to talk about a placeholder, justice for James.
It's like, how much money did Mob Boss pay off the producers to keep him on the beach this long?
What woman has given him a rose?
It's not money.
What woman has given James a rose? I actually think this might be a conspiracy. I don't believe I've ever seen him receive a rose, has only given a rose. I have only seen him give out roses. I have never seen him receive a rose. Prove me wrong.
Mob Boss is a hologram. Prove me wrong.
Who has given him a rose?
I honestly cannot tell you, because until last night I thought he had gone home. I don't know these things.
Also,
it's true. Yeah, I don't remember who.
I do have intel also on that note of not knowing who's still here, that apparently Kendall and Ivan were a little thing since day one that she got on the beach, and we didn't see any of it. It's because they're trying to make her look stupid, by the way, and look like she's desperate and obsessed with Joe, I think.
So okay. Because
we can, because I don't have any context of that. And last night, the way that they were making, she came on so confident, she glided onto the beach, like in that red look, that was just like Joe's soul left his body when he saw her. Mm-hmm. And we all know where we were when she said, "Hey, butthead." But and now she's like this, like sullen, just depressed, crying mess. Like, they need to stop. Don't do her like that.
No,
she doesn't.
It's like
that.
It's already so traumatizing to watch the realness of what's happening. Like, don't try to make her look like she's having a rose grab with Ivan. Like, they made it look like right before the rose ceremony, she makes out with Ivan, and then the scene where then, she's staring at Joe and he tries to kiss her and she walks away. Like, it makes it look like she's, out here just trying to stay around to like keep eyes on Joe,
Just wrong.
So they were really, because I thought that I'm like, when I saw them kissing, I was like, oh my God, this is sweet.
I was like, what about Kendall and Ivan? Well, yeah.
When I saw them on that daybed, I was like, I like this. I don't know what's happening, but I'm here for it.
Apparently.
I think is his energy would match hers really well, and her quirkiness that it's not quirky. Like, she's not quirky. She's original. She's smart. She's funny. Like all those good things. And they keep putting her in this box. Like, who was that girl that talked about peeling an onion, but it was a pomegranate? They keep giving her that edit. And I'm like, it's not Kendall.
Yeah.
Kendall's a whole fucking snack. What are we doing?
Lest we forget. Lest we forget her, we just recently watched it, Gray and I, her handling of the Crystal situation on Ari's season was unlike anything else.
Top notch.
Top notch. Now really thinking about it, her and Ivan would actually very much make sense to me.
He could travel the world with her.
They're both intellectuals, right? They're both like they can play chess. I'm sure she would enjoy playing chess with him. I'm sure he would enjoy learning about all of her like the creatures that she's into.
Picnics at the cemetery.
Yes.
He's here for it.
Although it seems like he's here for new people come next week, according to the preview.
That chaotic preview, I don't know. And you know what's so funny? The extended preview they gave when Katie's season ended, they made it seem like the reason that they were getting shuttled off the beach was because of someone tested positive for COVID.
Oh.
And next week we see it's a storm, like a storm warning or something like that. So I was like, these producers,
listen,
I don't know, so they're going to hell. And I'm an atheist, listeners. Okay, so I don't even believe that. So take that with a grain of salt. But they're ridiculous.
I'm not here to discount if this was a true tropical storm and people were affected. I'm not trying to discount that. And here I'm going to go off with another theory that'll probably get me screwed over. But I was recently vacationing, 1 mile away from that hotel. Yes. And, around that time, there are tropical storms that are really intense. We talked about it on one of the episodes where I was like, it's a flood. Like it's really intense.
That was wild.
I do believe that they probably are going to make it way more dramatic seeming than it is. Like, I'm sure, because there are so many tropical storms that happen on a regular basis that look so intense there, that I'm sure the people at the hotel are like, no, we're good. Like, maybe just keep the cameras inside. And they're going to be like, no, we're going to make it look like we got to go. Call in the choppers. Like, that's my guess of what's going to happen.
I bet it's also a liability.
Hell, Blair Witch kind of.
Yeah. They're going
to. And Aaron will have the amount of screen time they'll give him to dramatize the fuck out of that is going to be unreal.
Trees are blowing around. Sand's in my eyes. I can't see anything.
Whoa, that a launcher that just flew over my guy James. That's my family. Like, what? It's gonna be too much. They're really, you know what? I think where are we on Aaron's past relationship with acting? Because I feel like they're giving him an edit for him to be the new Vin Diesel.
Wow. Oh, wow. You know what? I wouldn't hate it.
His mouth, you don't know what he's saying, but then you hear it's about family, and then it's like, okay, and then a shot working out, and then there's a car, and he's talking about turbo, and I just feel like he's going to be in the next Fast and Furious.
You know what? I could actually picture it.
In his own mind, he is in the Fast and Furious.
He's dumb.
Yes.
He's like, oh, we need a new. Okay, I'm there. Like, there's a casting call for Paul Walker's replacement. I'm there. It's just too much.
Similarly, I believe he will probably be in the next 9 seasons of Bachelor in Paradise, without doubt.
Yes. So let it be written.
If there was anyone to take over Ben Higgins' slot, it would be him.
Definitely. Oh my God, we haven't seen Ben on the beach, have we? Yet?
Ben's not. I don't think Ben's coming.
Does he come on the beach?
I don't think so. I heard that he said no.
Wow, my man's turning over a new leaf.
I know. There were a lot of people, I think, that said no. A lot of people, a lot of people who were in the top said no. And I think people are really starting to understand that Bachelor in Paradise, if you were liked by the audience, they're really going to fuck you over on Bachelor in Paradise.
No, Ben Higgins.
Oh, Ben Higgins.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No. I thought you meant Ben.
Which Ben were you?
You're talking about the Ben we hate.
I'm talking about Tasha Ben.
Oh. Did you see how deep I had to go to unlock that repressed memory? Please watch YouTube, because the way that my eyes popped out of my head when I found the memory. Fascinating. I literally was like, who are we talking about?
I was like, wait, what? Why would Ben Higgins be hated on the beach?
No.
I thought it was him taking space with his he had some mental health struggles that he's been open about. So I was like, good for him.
Yeah.
Bread. Oh.
No, sorry to bring up that old memory, my friend.
By the way,
It's totally fine. I have Friday.
I believe that the reason he didn't go on Bachelor in Paradise is not for the villain edit. I think he probably thinks he's too good for Bachelor in Paradise.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
I believe that 1,000%.
He's like, you know what? I was too good to go on The Bachelorette in the first place, but it was a fun chapter in my life, but it's a little embarrassing.
He's the kind of guy that would play that reverse psychology, like he's too good, just for them to like, oh, wow, you have a spine. Please come. So then they can beg him.
Right.
And then he's like, all right, you really want me. I hate that guy.
I was so shocked that he was not on the season, because it was like, of course, he's going to cause all the, like, we had these thoughts that he was going to become kind of the next, a villain on BIP. But I will say I am very grateful that he's not, because I don't think that my mental health could handle it with all of the drama going on Bachelor in Paradise.
Imagine Aaron picking a fight with him? Aaron would either spontaneously combust or turn into the Hulk. Like, that's how it would be. Like, Thomas, who? Thomas, that's my bro. Like, they hate
family. Thomas is family.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Family. Like, he would. I feel like it would be Aaron versus Ben V.
Yes. Oh my God.
I mean, I'd pay to see that.
I know.
Would be but our mental health, we don't have the capacity.
Hey, you know what? Probably next season, Ben will come on and Aaron will be back on Bachelor in Paradise. Let's be honest.
So do we think Ben Higgins is going to make an appearance, though?
I don't think so.
God damn it.
Oh, so I mean, basically, as far as the Brendan and Pieper piece goes, they're gone. You know, they've made now numerous statements that are vague and yes.
No, continue.
No, I was saying, like, Pieper has put out a couple statements, which, in my opinion, in this one, when we were watching it, I was very much like, okay, I understand there were certain moments of Pieper that I was like, no, what, like, why did you say that? But it was like Brendan, to me, it's like, this is the villain. And then even we see a moment with Pieper looking at Brendan saying, I told you we should have never done this. And I was like, this was Brendan's idea. This is Brendan's idea. And I also took note that twice Pieper used the same phrasing that Brendan used. So Brendan said something about a playbook. A few minutes later, Pieper said playbook. And then when she was having the conversation with the group, Pieper used the phrase selective hearing. So I'm like,
she is young and impressionable.
And Brendan but then since Pieper's put out a couple statements that it's like, oh man, I wish that that we're just very like, you know, you don't know the behind the scenes, whatever.
Her statements have been fucking stupid. I'm sorry. Her other one last night was like, I just want to make it clear, we weren't exclusive before Paradise. I'm like, no, irrelevant.
Yeah. Completely.
That's information that could have been useful on the beach months ago, but not last night when you see your coins drying up.
Also, when they asked Brendan, so did you see her the day before Paradise? And he's like, yes, I did.
The way that he said it.
And you're like,
did I see her? Yes.
He repeats back, did you see her the day before Paradise? Did I see her the day before Paradise? Mm-hmm.
This is like, relax. What's happening? Why are your eyes turning red? I think for me, when I knew that Pieper was in danger and it's like, no, run. The dick can't be that good. Just leave. Mm-hmm. When they were on the daybed and they were doing the algorithm or the Pythagorean theorem of how they were going to bamboozle everyone. And she literally said, even if this does not work out and we get backlash, we just won't look at our phones. you can't come back from that. Like if your mind has already gone there and you've laid that out,
Ooh.
there's nothing that it's either just relegate yourself to VH1 reality shows, right? Like just go off into the fringe. Like you can't recover from that. There's no amount of vague statements or any statements really is going to help kind of gloss over what happened or to it's not even about showing remorse, but just to really making it make sense for people. Like when you let yourself get to that point of like, oh, we just look at our phones, like anticipating it could go wrong and saying, well, bad publicity is still publicity. Girl gone.
So
go
true.
With your dry ass dude that nobody's checking for. All you guys have are each other now. No one's checking for you.
I don't think they're still together.
I
don't think so. No.
I think they are.
You think they are?
Yeah, 100%.
I do too.
Yeah, and I think even if they were broken up, I bet this drove them back together again.
Really?
Because now it's kind of like all we have is each other, and we're just kind of leaning on each other. It's not,
And the irony, that's what they thought was their safety net of like, you're coming on a show to find your potential partner, blah, blah, blah. And coming on as an established couple, it could have gone wrong and they still would have been fine just being in the relationship.
Yeah.
So I think the irony of like, yeah, it not only did it blow up in your face, all you have left is each other and maybe Dr. Joe to,
No, Dr. Joe.
Swaddle Brendan. What the fuck? But yeah, it's just, if they broke up or things or they hadn't seen each other because of the pandemic or whatever, I think they are back together now.
I think that if Pieper wanted some of my PR expertise, what I would have done, break up with him and make it a whole public thing where like, I am disgusted and appalled by seeing Brendan's behavior. It was a whole side of him that I never had the chance to see before. Natasha, you are a goddess, a queen. Anyone would be lucky to have you. And I am just so shocked and saddened by my own actions that I was on the side of someone that was so atrocious to like women, whatever. Like, girls, let's get together. And
Alexa, please can I explain? Man, I feel like, oh, let's go, girls. And her feed is only of her and Natasha going into all the New York hotspots.
Into all the nail salons.
All the nail salons. Bikinis and petties for everyone. Going to Bergdorf with Kit, doing all the things. Oh my God, avocado toast. Like all of the we're girls girl kind of PR move.
Oh my God.
Maddie Pruitt, contact her, go to her church service. Pivot.
Oh my God, just church every day of the week.
Pivot to be a female Christian motivational speaker.
Oh my goodness. Get in, what's her face? Who I always like the heavy mascara.
Maddie Pruitt?
Yes.
That's what I just said.
Shots with her. Do the TikTok.
Maddie P.
Get to pivot to her TikTok base. Like, come on, Pieper. You could have called Becca.
Guys, I'm on speed
You're
dial
welcome.
over here.
No, but that's why I agree, and also that's why I believe that she is still with Brendan, because I really do think if she wouldn't be with Brendan, she probably would have had a statement more like that.
Yep.
Tragic.
I know. But
they're going to wait till the dust settles and come out and be on their
they're gonna be hashtagging love wins.
Oh.
Oh no. Oh no.
Just know that I know you guys are about like 2,000 miles away from me. If you hear mini earthquake in your respective homes, if that hashtag comes out, it's coming from Chicago. I have self-imploded. A sinkhole opened up and I fell into it. It's like, oh, Sophie, okay, Sophie's gone.
Oh God.
She's no longer with us.
No longer with us. We'll say nice things at her memorial.
Mm-hmm.
Just complete trash if they use that hashtag. I will break my phone.
Oh my God. In Bachelor fashion, I would not be surprised, unfortunately. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, they end up removing themselves.
Okay, yeah, enough with them.
They remove themselves.
We're talking about them.
They remove themselves. And you know what? I'm glad that they made the call to remove themselves and it didn't end up becoming more of a drama that Natasha was having to witness to, maybe Brendan having a full-blown fit, refusing to leave and all that type of bullshit.
Because he was ramping up to do that.
Yes.
This no longer concerns you. The way he was, I would be like, sir, what? Like taking off my earrings? Like, let's go. Let's go. You are not going to talk to another Black woman like this on this show. Come on, man.
And then in his conversation, what was it with Pieper afterwards? When then he's like talking shit on all the women. And saying that, like, you know, Demi's a character. I mean, the character. I apparently I missed this, but I saw Marissa said that he said that Deandra is just mad because no one wants to be with her on the beach, and I was like,
"Oh, whoa,
excuse me, sir."
Oh no, yeah,
do not come after our princess. No.
I literally like Evan wasn't watching.
I'm kind of glad I didn't hear her say that.
No. I wasn't watching the episode with Evan, and all I'm waiting for is for Evan to watch that because, you know, he will leave me tomorrow if Deandra hits him up. It's done. And he finally watched the Brendan episode, and he's been pacing for like 24 hours in our house because he's so angry. And when he hears this, Chatty Bros is just going to be an explosion. Okay, broads, one more quick pause here. Look, aging is a natural, wonderful part of life. No age shaming around here, but we can also admit that aging comes with some things that are less than ideal. For example, our hair changes. For me and for a lot of women, late 20s, early 30s tend to come with thinning hair, some hair loss, or hair that just looks a little lifeless. This could be caused by so many things. It could be stress, hormones, environment, an imbalance in your nutrition intake, your metabolism, or more than likely a mix of a few of those things. But there's a fix. We love it. Our friends love it. It is new. It's new for me in the past few months, and it's really helping, and it's called Nutrafol.
Nutrafol is the hair growth product you see legitimate results with. It does help to take care of all the other factors like eating nutritious meals and getting enough rest, because all of that affects your hair's texture, your shine, and your hair's strength. But then a little Nutrafol, it's the cherry on top. Nutrafol is the 100% drug-free, natural way to get your body back into balance, which helps promote overall well-being.
It's so true. I even noticed my nails improving when I started to take Nutrafol, but by far the biggest difference I noticed is that I don't shed as much hair as I do when I wash or brush my hair, which is a huge win in my book. Broads, you know my issues with hair over the years, and I started taking Nutrafol a couple months ago, and I'm actually been starting to grow my hair out because my baby hairs are coming back in. Like, it's starting to help. I'm so excited.
Are you growing your hair out?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Exciting.
Thank you, Nutrafol.
You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show, of course, by going to Nutrafol.com and entering promo code Chatty to save $15 off your first month's subscription. This is their best offer anywhere, and it's only available to U.S. customers for a limited time. Plus, you get free shipping on every order. So get $15 off at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, and use promo code Chatty.
Broads, I am notorious for leaving my wallet at home. Like, it's actually kind of become a problem. And let's be real, is there anything more embarrassing than going to pay for something at CVS after you've grabbed way too many things and you're dropping nail polish on the floor and there are people in line behind you and then you realize that you don't even have your wallet? It's the worst. There's just no graceful way out of the situation like that unless you have PayPal, then you're in luck.
Oh my God, and I love PayPal.
We love it so much.
I say this every time we have this ad, but I'm obsessed with PayPal. And now PayPal uses QR code payments that are accepted at CVS stores nationwide. That's right. PayPal. So there's a good chance you're already using PayPal like me for most of your online purchases already. And this is no different. Plus, when you make your first touch-free payment of $20 or more using PayPal, you'll get $10 cash back. And let's be honest, that $10 probably covers all the impulse buys you make when you go to CVS in the first place. So really, it's a win all around.
Okay, God bless. $10 will help with my CVS habit, which is, that's just what the place is for me. I go in for one thing and I come out with 12 every single time. By the way, get all my lash, makeup, beauty business done at CVS. But anyways, broads, PayPal touch-free payment is so easy to set up and use, and now you'll always be covered if you leave your house or leave your wallet at home.
You know how people are like obsessed with Target? I kind of feel that way about CVS.
Me
It's
too.
less overwhelming. I really do love CVS. I walk in, I'm like, what do I need?
Me too.
What do I need to stock up on?
Me too. I go there too much.
I'm like, do I need a giant box of pregnancy tests? No, but it'll be good to have around.
Gonna
and they
get
have
it
it there. Anyway, okay, to get $10 cash back on your first transaction of $20 or more, just head to your local CVS and pay using your PayPal or Venmo app. That's $10 cash back on your first purchase of $20 or more when you use the PayPal or the Venmo app. To see terms and learn more about how to earn $10 cash back, if we haven't explained it well enough, go to paypal.com/chatty.
So let's talk Marissa and Riley. Sophie, Becca, what were your thoughts on the whipped cream of it all?
It's actually really bad for me because the minute I saw the cameo of the large toe, I just started smelling onions.
Oh,
So I was like, did he wash his feet? Toe jam. What is going on? So it just came to me, Funyuns, bunions, and whipped cream. That's all I say about that day.
no, the bunions.
The bunions, because he's always at the gym. Like there's always pressure. It's always leg day for this man. Okay. His earlobes does bench presses. So I know those are some mangled hobbit feet. And to put any kind of dairy on, please get Becca a bucket. She's about 2 below. To put any kind of dairy or anything on that. And then she literally deep-throated the fuck out of that.
She thought she did something.
She's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna show him. Look what I do. Look what I do." You guys, I'm losing it. I'm back there. All the smell, all the it's just the PTSD is real.
I couldn't even handle when he was like doing it all up on her chest and it was really starting. I was like, no, stop. Hold it right there. Save this for the bedroom.
The humidity and the sweat that caked on your bodies. And then you're having this
probably some makeup too,
product that needs to be refrigerated at all times. And so all I'm just thinking is this lukewarm ass whipped cream. Y'all,
you could tell because it was kind of puddly, you know?
Yeah.
That could not make it into the commercial. Like how perfect that it comes out. Like, no. I used to work at Starbucks. That would have been tossed out. This canister is no good. And then he's trying to make it cute. Like, what movie did they watch where they thought, yeah, that's what we're going to do on the hot ass beach with sand and sweat caked on us and smelling like feet. And you want to eat feet.
Spoiled milk on a big toe.
Oh my God. Curdled.
I apologize to your listeners for I have a very gag reflex. So good thing I didn't eat today because something would have came up.
That was... Yeah, we can just move on past that. Except that, they're in a, supportive relationship. They're heading into the boom boom room again. Things are working out.
I loved it.
Can I ask a question though? What are both of your takes on, because they're leaning into their shtick so hard. And I can't remember the last time I saw a couple that they just were just doling out bits. Like first we had them eat the cow tongue and then to equate eating cow tongue to an aphrodisiac. No. I think I've heard oysters are, but not cow tongue and fucking bone marrow of some, I don't know, ox. And then now they're having them with this, spoiled dairy on sweaty, sandy bodies, and then equating that to being something to turn someone on. Is it getting a little too played out, or just, I don't know?
I personally, so the dairy, the tongue situation and all that. I mean, they got put into that dynamic, and I did feel like they handled it well. They answered the questions. They ate everything. They were killing it. And so I think then obviously the producers have given either Marissa, it was her idea, or the producers were like, here's a fun idea for you all. I can't, the food play is not for me, but I have to tell you both that everyone was like, I was dying laughing. I was living for it. I was like, you two are so into each other that you don't give a fuck, that everyone's looking at you, that you guys are sweaty and sandy, and you are like, this is our foreplay, and we are going into the boom boom room. Everyone, they come back, everyone's giving them a hard time. They don't fucking care. They're so into each other that I'm like, I celebrate it. I celebrate it so much.
I don't.
I love it.
I'm
I
trying
love
to be
it.
supportive. My insides, I'm screaming.
If
I
that's
love it
sex
so much.
positivity, I don't want any part of it.
I was like, what I would have given to be there, and I would have just been like, we're doing it out here. I
do
loved it so
have to
much.
wonder, are they leaning into it? Are producers leaning into it? I do have to wonder, what is the depth of the connection here? I do have to wonder.
Oh.
And with the preview, and it does look like Marissa is really moving in with, I don't know who that was.
Was it DeMario?
DeMar, yeah.
What? Yeah. He,
You added
Listen.
a couple letters. That was DeMar?
Mm-hmm.
DeMar?
Oh.
Who the fuck is DeMario? Like, I feel like I'm adding his no. I feel like I'm adding him from, Rachel Lindsay.
Rachel Lindsay season. Yeah.
Oh.
Get out.
Yes.
That
Okay. Okay, that was DeMar. I did
DeMar.
not catch
DeMar.
that.
Who I love DeMar.
I think he should have been first on the beach. That was
I can't believe they've taken this long to get him on.
So, seeing their connection makes me wonder how strong said connection between Riley and Marissa.
We shall see. I believe in their love, and we'll see.
But you know what? I think that with how Buff Yoda, Van Lathan on him and Rachel Lindsay's Higher Learning podcast, because I always have to cite my sources. I can't, if I come up with something original, I'll say, yeah, okay, I was drunk and I came up with that. But if it's someone else's, I'll cite their work. So Yoda, a la Van Lathan, the way that Buff Yoda showed his ass last week in the confrontation with Chris, I lost so much respect for him. Not even in the sense of like, you as an attorney who had to take formal logic in college should know that this does not make sense. Not even into that, but just the way that in all his toxic or fragile masculinity might to talk to someone like that and shush a woman, I just thought was like, yeah, you're getting real comfortable on this beach. And maybe I thought I liked you, but I could see Marissa kind of saying, okay, we hit it off. We had a great physical connection, had real great conversation. But I think after that display, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what kind of turned her off, because it was a hell of a turn off for me.
Yeah.
Not that he cares, but for what my opinion.
I missed that part. Wasn't paying attention the hardest in the last 20 minutes of that episode, but noted.
Well, you had the right idea. I mean, it was literally, I needed a neck brace from all the whiplash. What the fuck is going on? I thought we were going to see them berate Pieper. Like, I braced myself that day to kind of see this attack on a Black woman. And then it's Chris and Ilana. I still can't pick her up out of a lineup. Like, I would not be able to today, even if I was offered $100K. So for them to do that 180 was truly shocking.
Which is a great segue into, I had no idea who this man from Claire's season was.
None.
Blake. I said to myself, I only accept one Blake M in my atmosphere, and this is Blake Monar, who was gone like right away.
Okay.
And I did remember him because I remember assuming that he was a youth pastor. I just felt it in my spirit, and I still don't doubt that. I still don't doubt it after his date with Tia. He very much, when he came on the beach, he was like, can everyone gather around? And, I like the way he addressed everyone felt very youth pastor to me, which I could definitely see for Tia. I think that would work out very well. I was like crying laughing when they were on their date and Tia was saying, we connect so much. I'm scared that people might think we previously knew each other. Because she's so freaked out that they're gonna that they're gonna get accused on the beach of being like, you guys are from the same city, you guys know each other, and it's gonna be this whole thing.
I gotta tell you, I'm happy for them.
I feel like they make sense.
The reason I am happy for them, I know you have thoughts about Tia, Sophie. I know you have thoughts. But the reason,
I'm here on your podcast. How did we get invited?
Okay, the reason I'm happy for Tia, though, for real, is you look through like Tia's track record on like Paradise, and the thing that I gotta be really careful the way that I say this, but I guess like I appreciate seeing Tia sort of like really feeling sexually comfortable when throughout seasons in the past, including this one, it's kind of like this so like awkward, like China pot, whatever, like like kind of thing. And so I was sort of like, okay, go Tia. You actually have chemistry with this man, and it doesn't seem forced, and you seem very comfortable in your body and in your sexuality with this person. So that I was stoked for her for that, because I feel like there hasn't been, I don't know, it's just like with Colton and like with Kenny and like, I don't know, it's just all been sort of like, and with Chris Randone, just sort of this like awkward. It's just been very, a lot of, honestly, like kind of awkward, forced physical encounters. And this didn't feel like that. So I was happy for her.
She's kind of someone that thrives off of the structure of the show. So in this sense, if they had known each other and they hit it off the bat and it's kind of like, hey, I'm going to Paradise, or actually I would believe it if they didn't know each other. But if they happened to be on the beach at the same time, but they had run in the same incestuous Nashville crew, that I wouldn't be mad at that, because she's someone that I think needs to, in order to connect with somebody and get past this threshold of I'm being awkward because of how I've been primed by lesser emotionally inept men. And I feel like I have to put on airs for someone and connect and get past that hurdle and actually connect with someone. She, regardless of my opinions of her character, I can objectively say that did read well off screen, and I was happy for her, because I was like, I feel uncomfortable. Am I interrupting? Do you need a room or a partition? Like, help me help you, because y'all are about to, he's going to break your back right here on the sand, like in the out shower or whatever it's called.
Worship leader Tatty Daddy's about to bust out his instrument in moments.
Oh my God. I could totally see him pulling out the car, and
I was waiting for it. I mean,
that first time I got back to my Christian cult days, but whoever was the popular, I'm a cool millennial Christian worship leader.
There's
like
many,
so many.
I feel like, Blake will probably do an acoustic Amazing Grace rendition at their wedding, and Tia will be sobbing.
As she's walking down the aisle. He'll play to her as she's walking down the aisle, of course.
And then he'll stop because he gets choked up.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, I love their love. Like, a lot of people will be saying that. I love their love. They'll probably be their wedding day hashtag. Oh my God, I hate all of it.
I don't know whether to watch him or her. I can't.
I just love their love. Like, it's just too much.
Oh my gosh.
Their second child, or what's her name? Raven with her second child. I just love their love. Too much.
Their couple name will be Take, because it will be Tia and Blake, and their wedding hashtag will be Hot Take. Hashtag Hot Take.
Becca, are you PR?
Wow.
Marketing and advertising.
Wow.
Influencer. Pick a lane. Leave something for us, because that, written in the stars.
It's so on brand for Tia. Hashtag Hot Take. Yeah. Hot Take wedding. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gonna
because
happen.
I always speak my mind, y'all. I can't. Okay, so my gripe was with Tia, and I'm not going to bring in the outside social media and the hellscape we, lived through with the pandemic. Like, I don't even want to taint this conversation with that. But when her and Demi had their hot takes that the reason why they were undateable or they were still single is because Colton was gay and kind of using him as this punchline for the show, that just left such a bad taste in my mouth. And I was like, okay, so this is who you are. Maybe that was a producer fed line, but I just really hated on separate episodes or 2 different episodes. They leaned into this idea that, well, I mean, the last guy did, that's why I'm single. The last guy did was gay. It's like,
yeah, I felt very uncomfortable. The couple comments that they've allowed to have happen about Colton being gay, and I'm like, I mean, every listener knows my feelings about Colton via the stalking situation, etc. But to then be like making light of it on a show that he's been very vocal about, that he said like destroyed his life, and then joking about it is just kind of.
Right. I think their cutesy implication, right, is like, I turned the last man I dated gay, It's
yeah,
like
and it's
that
like,
whole thing.
no.
Child, girl, go on. Just go get to your hot take wedding and just into the sunset. I'm actually committed to this idea. Like, if I don't see hashtag hot take 2023 sometime soon, I'm going to be upset.
Do we think they're going to get engaged on the beach?
No. I think they'll get to the fantasy suite. So we can like, oh yeah, that's why their chemistry is so palpable and they haven't slept together. And well, like, I think they'll get to fantasy suite, but they will not leave the beach engaged.
Okay. Will they leave the beach together?
I think they'll leave the beach together. Maybe dating.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
All right, then I'm going to ball out and I'm going to say they get engaged.
Okay. Wedding on the sand.
She has a stake in this. She is going to be their wedding planner.
Yes.
And they will be getting married next year on the beach. Hello.
We'll have a Carly and Evan wedding and Goose and Glitter wedding. I see that.
Oh no, that's 2 out of 2 bad endings.
That's very true. It's not good.
Did Jade and Tanner get married on the beach?
No, they got married. They had, what did they have?
They did. They did get married on the beach.
They did?
They?
Yeah.
I know that their wedding was.
Oh, yes, it was. It was the first Paradise wedding. You're right.
I remember.
Well,
I watched.
I participated.
But I feel like I'm reading so many different nuptials together because I was thinking of, I thought Desiree would for sure have had a televised wedding, but she went super private, and so
off
that's
the grid.
I
think they had a second
good for
wedding
Desiree.
though. I think Jade and Tanner did. I don't know.
Did they?
They did.
Like
No, you're right. It was the first Paradise wedding.
Which always seems like a fake wedding, right? Like
it really was.
Yeah, I would definitely have another. If I was to get married on TV, I would be like, this is the second one. I would have a secret wedding beforehand.
Didn't Glitter and Goose, didn't they say they weren't even like allowed to invite their family and friends? Really?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
And also it was also too, like, they're not even officially married there because of just internationally and all that stuff. So it's all for show.
Yes.
So definitely would have had second wedding.
Yes.
Well, who will not be having a wedding is Tamis and Tommy.
Tamis and Tommy.
Tamis and Tommy.
Just that would not be their relationship name. I don't think. What's their wedding hashtag? We can't do anything with that.
Hashtag Tamis.
Fucked up in my brain that I said it and it didn't sound wrong. It didn't like come out and I went,
I mean, they do have similar names. I never noticed it until you said that.
I was rolling with it and I was like, wait a minute, Tamis, that is discordant. That is aggressive. I'm sorry, I'm gonna use that.
Tamis and Tommy.
Start calling him Tamis.
Hey, yo, Tamis. I want to know about your past modeling career.
Tamis, I know with that 6'6", that tall drink of water, and then you definitely have modeling in your past.
That sounds like
Tamis.
like my dad or like my grandma, you know, would call me, be like, I love Tamis. His name's Thomas.
It sounds like a name from the Bible. Tamis.
That's always saying he's 6'3" and is going to hit his head somewhere. Tamis.
I love that Tamis.
Colton Jr.
It sounds like and Tamis begot Obadiah and Obadiah.
Totally. Titus and
His name
Tamis.
is Elton, like really aggressive.
Okay.
Anywho, Tammy
for that.
and Thomas.
Tammy
called Thomas her best friend. Let's just put it out there. She called Thomas her best friend.
She said, I gave him everything.
I have no words because in my mind I'm still on Tamis time, but that was a lot. That was a lot. I know that Tammy, she connects with people, and you know, I could have sworn is she a Gemini, right?
I have to
Is she a
check.
Gemini?
She's a former actress. I know that.
If she's a Gemini, then I'm like, that tracks.
Yeah.
She was like, he was my moon, my stars, my beginning and my end, my alpha and omega.
I am nothing without you, Tamis. I wrote you every day for a year. Like, just bursting into notebook monologues. But yeah, I think
Gemini.
Gemini.
real recognize real. Okay. I've been there.
Yeah, sure.
By the way, I think we've had a record number of Geminis on our podcast. Like, I swear to God, every other guest we have on is a Gemini.
I think we reach out to Geminis.
We'll do anything for a buck. That's kind of our byline. But I think either Tammy is, and I have to challenge Chatty Bros because they went on this whole bit with Victoria, former queen, now goddess, future Karen, that she is a quintessential reality TV villain or star. I think that is Tammy.
I tend to agree with you.
Yeah. Understands the assignment, and she gives us a little bit about herself where we can be like, oh, okay, I could tell that's her showing her true self. But then we'll switch, dethrone the mob boss, get her investigative journalism on, and take down her enemy that she has not forgotten was her enemy. So Victoria Paul is ex-Nate off the beach. And
McKenna, remember?
I gave you everything. And roll into that bit. And then it's just like, it's my birthday.
When she gave us that at the end, when she was eating, as she's crying and she's eating the cupcake, I was like, Tammy is doing it right now. She's absolutely doing it. And then crying, talking about like how her last birthday she got COVID and this is worse. Like I'm like, the fact that I'm
Classic.
right now, my heart is breaking for you while simultaneously you're getting me to laugh. 10 out of 10.
That was
I had COVID and now I'm getting dumped. And then she put in her stories a poll, which is worse when to get broken up, COVID or dumped. Queen, she understands the assignment.
Now, I'm sorry, reminiscent of the truly iconic line from Christina Schulman. This is worse than the Russian orphanage.
I forgot about that.
Which will always top the charts.
That's the number one. I mean, I
Very
don't.
deep in the annals of my mind. Thank you for. So you both are 2 for 2. Just hitting the Ben Beach trauma.
Oh my God.
Justice for Christina Schulman, though.
Oh,
She's a pretty good reality TV.
She really is.
she's
But
great.
she's too normal for the machine, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I love Christina.
She's too precious for this.
But
But can we talk about 8.5 by 11 printer paper personality Thomas or Tamis, as he's now being? I think he's just a waste of 6'3". I think there's nothing. Home, the lights aren't on at home. He does not do it for me the minute he opens his mouth.
No, you think he's a villain, and then you realize, you're not evil.
You're daft.
Yeah.
You didn't mean to do that. There's nothing up there. You couldn't plan it, so I gave you a rule book or a manual.
It's like, oh, you made it through sports, school, relationships, everything off of your height and good looks.
He just, when he was ending things with Tammy, it was very much like is this how you fire people at your job? To me, this definitely felt like he was like sitting down with one of his employees and being like, hey, you're worthy, you're valuable, you'll do great elsewhere. But I
don't think this is the right place for you.
But we're going to be hiring out now.
Liability.
Yes.
He called Jake from State Farm and said, hey, I need help. How do I break up a human person, a human woman? Like anytime, like in a breakup, no one should be bringing up low risk, high. What?
Yeah. Look, I crunched the numbers. I crunched the numbers, Tammy, and I
got to sell. Like,
I'm just like
we're not profiting anymore, actually. Like we are barely breaking even at this point.
Thomas is like, I've been crunching the Bachelor numbers, and what I'm looking at is the number of followers you have and you as a villain and the number of followers I have and me as a villain. It just doesn't line up with the number of followers that Becca as Bachelorette currently has, who has never been a villain, who still currently is part of a Bachelor affiliated podcast.
Right. Tamis is just like, Becca, she's a former Bachelorette. Tammy.
What am I supposed to do?
And she's trying to get her new wine label off the ground. I mean, that's just PR booked for months. I want to be in the black. Tammy, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, it's your birthday? I'm sorry. I got to sell. It was too much. It was so bizarre. And I felt like he was doing an impersonation of what he thinks is what a guy does when he's breaking up.
It felt very disconnected. I was very confused. And I was also surprised, hot take, that Becca K wasn't really getting any kickback in Bachelor Nation for stealing Tammy's guy.
Oh, she didn't steal Tammy's guy. He got up and walked right away.
No, I'm not saying that she did. I'm saying the kickback from Bachelor Nation being like, hey, so like, you know, they had been together and then you talked and then you guys are kind of always in a corner making out and laughing and like there's not really like that.
Tammy looks crazy. Tammy looks crazy.
Well, Tammy was killing it. Tammy was killing it. She would, even when she pulled Thomas aside, she was like, hey, I don't want to know anything about your date because all that matters is that I still feel how I feel about you. The connection is there. She was killing it. She was,
if you come back. I was like,
and she was like, oh, every single thing, absolutely nailing. And then as soon as he was like, well, I have to be honest with you, which I also have to give Thomas credit that Thomas didn't sidestep anything. He was really direct. There was no bullshit Brendan lying business. He was very direct. Told her how it was. But then as soon as Tammy started to do like the you're my best friend and like I've given you everything, that was, I was like, no, Tammy, don't. Like it was all going so well. But I feel like other than that, it was like Tammy looked fantastic on the beach.
I think the difference too is Tammy was like straight up like, go Thomas, go on the date with Becca, you know? So then it was like, it was fair game. Yeah. It was all very by
I have no
playbook.
issue. I was just surprised because you keep seeing them panning to Thomas and Becca and they're kind of all over each other making out. And, you know, other people on the beach were given a hard time for swapping quite quickly. And
that was the logic for a couple. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no. It was like, well, Thomas and Becca right away, like the night of their date, they were all over each other, kind of like a Chris Alana thing. And like, no, but I don't know. I was just kind of, I don't know. It was interesting to me.
That was the logic of like, you immediately got up and went on this date and you like, you know, found someone new. Like that's what they were ramming down Chris's throat. And who else did they accuse of that?
I mean,
Somewhat-
Chris walked into the other room with someone who just got
Yeah,
there
no,
and
that
started
was wild.
sticking his tongue down her
It was
throat while
wild.
Jasenia was in the damn
No, it
room.
was wild.
No, without not saying that what he did was okay, but just kind of like this idea of switching partners
Yeah.
so soon,
Yeah.
or going on a date and then now you come back and you really like that person. I too was surprised, but nothing. I mean, it was totally eclipsed probably by that situation.
In the same say on the same page. Listen, Aaron has a goddamn vendetta agained Tammy.
Goddamn vendetta.
A goddamn vendetta against Tamis and
So
Tammy,
proud.
but he has had no issue with Becca, and Becca did
No,
the
'cause he
exact
liked
same
Becca.
thing.
Because he liked Becca.
You think that's why?
Yeah.
So you don't think he liked Tammy, and so then he just like took it out on her?
Look. We're
No, Tim was the rose.
we're also all dancing very delicately around Bachelorette Kufrin, the chosen.
No, that's
Exactly.
but that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Part of me is
The
like,
golden goose.
okay,
bro.
maybe either Aaron was actually dancing around the fact it's like I don't want to make an enemy of Bachelorette Becca, or also
Nope.
editing, making it not look like the drama that they're stirring up with Tammy, trying to make it look like Tammy did something wrong where Becca did. It was the exact same thing.
I think Aaron knows no logic. I think Aaron follows the whims of his passion and little else.
Mhm.
That's all I'll say about Aaron.
Now we
Do a CAT scan. There's a sweatband and a Cheeto in that man's brain. There's nothing there. Nothing. I need to stress that. And I'm not a radiologist. I'm not
And a Miller High Life.
yeah. Like there's nothing up there. But he knows enough to know not to piss off the Bachelorette and come up as a Neanderthal to her, because he still has to get that rose.
GTR, get that rose.
get that rose. Well, we see Aaron, in next week flipping a lid because Ivan is making out with Chelsea. So apparently his anger skips over Becca, Kufrin, and Thomas, and now has moved on to Ivan and Chelsea.
Well, his like I said, his passion, if it's following, he was into Chelsea. He gave Chelsea that rose, and then she betrayed him like no one has ever betrayed him.
How dare
True.
he gave her everything.
He gave her everything. I almost thought he was going to give Demi a rose. I literally at this point was like, is he about to not give Chelsea a rose and like Demi's going to get a rose?
That wouldn't have surprised me.
I have a moment of panic thinking that too, because I was like, the producers, I could see them, threatening him. we will take out that mid-credit scene montage of whatever he did at the end of the episode if you don't pick Demi. I thought that was going to happen, but thankfully no.
Thank goodness. Okay, so should we move on to Dr. Joe entering the scene?
Yes. What else have we still not covered? Dr. Joe and anything else?
Honestly, minus the Dr. Joe thing, there's the moment where we see that Kenny and Mari are him saying he's never felt like this before, them going to the boom boom room.
I do want to talk about Kenny and Mari, but let's talk about Dr. Joe first.
So we have the Dr. Joe and Natasha situation. Dr. Joe shows up on the beach and everyone is like, oh my God, if Dr. Joe does not ask out Natasha, we're all going to freak out. I honestly, when I was watching this, felt a little bit uncomfortable with the amount of pressure that was on both of them to be like, Joe, you better ask Natasha out, and Natasha, you better like Joe. Because I don't know if I was the only one feeling this way, but from my perspective, she was not into him. Like, I love Dr. Joe. I'm like, he adore, but the way that she was kind of like, I've seen her react when other men have come down, she was kind of like, I like his like calming presence and he seems like a good guy.
I was bored by the whole thing. I was like, this is so contrived. They're like trying to make this a thing. It's not a thing.
Their level beyond contrived. It was like, how many ways can they tell us they brought him on the beach to be the footnote in the storyline that ended so disastrously?
Yes. Which then on top of that, it's like, hey, fuck you, producers. Natasha has now gone through all of that. So you're going to have her go on a date with a guy where she has to explain to him that his best friend is the one who screwed her over, and then see that guy immediately start to disconnect and be like, I guess we're not going to be hanging out together anymore.
Unbelievable.
You know the time of death of that date when he said, Brendan?
My Brendan?
My Brendan?
My Brendan?
Like, he got called in by school administrators that his son had bullied another child. Brandon? My Brandon? He doesn't have that kind of aggression in him. Wow, Johanna. Now, why are we in the bayou? But I just don't know. That's when I knew.
My Brendan.
Not my Brendan. I was like, oh, it's over.
Oh, you're like, it's done.
Can I get a to-go box?
It's like, oh great, I don't have to put my face in this giant margarita anymore. Poor Natasha. The makeup is obviously going to be completely gone with those plate margaritas.
Also, he like wasn't very interested in like even really hearing what went down from what we saw.
I did not want to hear it.
Two format options to me of that. Number one, he knew that Brendan was coming on to be with Pieper, and so it's like, I don't want to act like, don't ask me any questions because I don't want to have to answer. Right. Or two, it's legit that feeling of when you have someone call out one of your friends and you're like, fuck. Don't want to be associated with what they did. Also don't want to call out what they did and say that it was wrong.
It's just so weird though. Like, you can still be friends with him. Like, just literally be like, wow, I'm so sorry that happened to you. That's so fucked up. Like, damn, I would not have predicted that he would act like that towards someone. Like, that's definitely something I'll be having a conversation with him about. So, you know, what's your favorite color? And moving on,
right,
whatever.
Right.
Yeah, let's get to know more about you. I came here for you. Like, he could have ended that so suave, and maybe she would have gotten, you know, her vagina would have danced as Tia.
Her China pot would have done a little jingle jangle.
Tia China pot of take. It would have danced if he would have said, you know, I'm here to learn more about you. Tell me more about you. Like, it would have been so disarming and charming. Exactly.
Yes. He did try to do that.
Brendan, yawn. Like, it was like, Joe, we're supposed to get married in the fall next year. Like, what are you doing?
Joe, why? He did try to do that, though. He did try to be like, oh, well, enough about Brendan. And she's like, no, it was a big deal, motherfucker.
Yes.
And then went on to lay it on thick.
I mean,
Ooh.
I would have done the same exact thing, especially too, like, again, I could be very wrong, but the vibe that I was picking up was that Natasha was not super interested in Dr. Joe. And so when I feel like when you're sitting across from someone whose best friend just fucked you over and it's that pain is still lingering, I'm like, no, I want you to hear and address what your friend did. Respond immediately.
Yeah. Respond now.
That's what it felt like.
I do think that if the women weren't in control of the roast this week, she probably would have leaned in, did a little couple, you know, eye batting, you know, to secure the roast for strategy, and then apparently drop him for Ed.
That was just
Ed.
That's not right. That's not right. They forced her into this position, and I will hold them accountable for it.
To end all, like, he
Ed
is gag-inducing.
Unbelievable.
Ed.
Well, you know,
Unbelievable.
I had hopes and dreams, like, towards the end of last season. I was like, I hope that McKenna and Ed hit it off.
Don't do that to McKenna. And I don't even like McKenna, so that's saying a lot.
I have this feeling, and I know that McKenna's supposed to still show up.
She already did show up.
I saw the Broad sent me screenshots of her sitting at like a table. It looks like she still comes.
So they just ushered her back into the hotel and said, sit a spell.
Or not.
Go
It could
back
be
to
wrong.
quarantine.
Yeah, go back into quarantine.
It's so funny. I did not recognize her, and I rewatched that episode the next day, and I still missed her. And everybody kept saying McKenna was. I was like, where was she? I missed her twice. Like, I do not know her. Like, I literally missed her twice. So,
Poor McKenna.
you know, and is it tea that, do y'all know that she dated Greg?
Oh, yes, that's right. They were talking. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pre-Bachelorette season.
So I want McKenna to know what it's like to talk to a grounded, emotionally mature, funny, whatever is her type. I want her to get a good version of that and just, you know, right off into the sunset of monogamy, because she's aching for it, and I want that for her.
You mean not Pilot Pete?
Oh. This is the day of. Okay, listeners, if you're joining us now, Sophie has just done her 50th dry heave. I apologize to listeners. I just feel like
not grounded.
Pilot Pete should be banished to the where do just disgruntled males, right? Disgruntled former bachelors. Where do they go when we don't want to see them anymore? He needs to be banished somewhere.
I need
to Nick
show.
Viall's living room.
Okay,
sorry.
Now.
Okay, continue.
Well, that space is occupied for Greg. He's sleeping on his couch. He's getting the rundown of how to be the next Hallmark movie TV star, because Hollywood ain't knocking. You're now banished to Hallmark, places of has-beens, and nobody cares. That's where Greg is. So he's sleeping on Nick's futon. So it's a full house there. So there's no space for Pilot Pete.
I'm redirecting. We need to talk real quick again about Natasha and Ed.
Sophie went dark. Sophie went AWOL and dark.
Oh my god.
Back to Natasha and Ed, though, guys, because we didn't.
Natasha and Ed were horrified.
Could I ask for less for her?
Where, like, but also then we see that Damar's coming, and I love Damar. And if there's going to be this
straight for Marissa, apparently.
Who is Natasha looking
Where's her
for?
knight in shining
You
armor?
know that Natasha has someone in mind.
Yeah.
Everyone does. Everyone has that one person that they want to meet, and they're not fucking bringing it for Natasha.
You know, and this might, if any of your listeners are now the new followers, borderline voyeuristic stands of Natasha after she's playing her Big Little Lies edit, I don't think Natasha is ready for a relationship. No, ew, that sounds like I fucking know her. Like, I think she's someone who's still trying to figure out who her type is.
Totally get that. I could see, guys, don't hate me for this, but I could see her having a big crush on Ben V.
Oh, that's on brand for how she came just a pile of elbows onto the beach. That makes sense. There's nothing to hate there. That's fact.
Yeah, I could see that too.
I could.
I feel like, I mean, if Ben V would have been on the sand, everyone would have been. All the women.
But yeah, so Dr. Joe is no mo for Sophie, which is tragic because I could have been your wedding planner. You could have got married in the fall in New York, and you could have been #Sojo in Soho.
Oh my God.
I just woke up my cats. My cats are they hate when I wake them up for a nap. My life flashed before my eyes.
I know.
Are you willing?
I saw the fall aesthetics. Sojo in Soho, I'm there.
Yeah.
Are you willing to give Dr. Joe another chance?
You know what, Maury? I think I am. The way that pivoted to
marriage counseling,
a daytime talk show.
I also
Are
like
you
how
ready?
you keep fixing
I'm gonna stick beside him. I will. I am. That's my man right there.
You also keep fixing your AirPod, which is sort of like an earbud, like you're on a show, like you're listening to someone. You're like, I'm gonna stick with it.
I will give him another chance.
I'm a fossil. I'm 35. I think this is the third time I've worn these AirPods, and I'm trying to be all cool, like this is so funny. Ow, 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 ow.
They hurt so bad.
Oh, I don't do the AirPod lane. It hurts my little ears
It's
too.
excruciating. I cannot wait to finance my podcast or media equipment so I can stop with, I don't want to be hip. I want the big headphones.
You need the cans.
That is home.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I need all the good deets on the good products, but I'm gonna stick beside him. I've really committed to Sojo and Soho. I've committed to fall aesthetics in New York.
A little
I've
champagne with a pop of brown and
Sophie James
orange.
hyphen Park. I committed to the fact that he took basic and intermediate Spanish. I did as well. He has a pulse. He has all his edges, and like his hairline is intact. I'm committed.
Are you ready?
I'm ready to go, Jess.
Are you ready for his stressful schedule?
Well, what I've heard about anesthesiologists is they have a really good work-life balance.
Oh, I love
and
that.
I'm a
Okay.
Gemini, and with an anxious avoidant attachment, I don't want him there all the time.
You know, I resonate with you so deeply, and so this sounds like perfect nuptials. So I'm happy to hear that you are willing to move forward with him.
I mean, I just need for my next level, my fall peels to come in. But when I slough off 2 layers of my face, I'm ready for you, Dr. Joe. I am here. I understand subject verb agreement. I will never go to the beach with you when you surf, but I love you. I know how to say thank you in Korean. Don't ask me to do it. We're betrothed. Just when's the date, Becca? What's the prime fall wedding date that you have for us?
October's a little more, you never know what the weather could be like. I would say
11/11/22, because 1 + 1 is 2.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That
is so beautiful. Honestly, Dr. Joe's going to appreciate that so much, the thought put into the date.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I just can't wait for the restraining order to come through. It's just that. I hear a knock on the door. Joe, are you Sophie James? Yes, I am. You've been served. Thank you. Oh, wow. Life comes at you fast. I'm literally going to have dreams about Sojo and Soho. Like,
It's perfect.
I'm short circuiting in real time. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know. I have to now marry a Joseph.
Yeah, find a new Joe.
You need to find a Joe.
Exactly. I got to find a new Joe.
It's either Joe or a new Joe, not Jim Catalog Joe.
You can also find someone named like Morgan, so you can be So-Mo in Soho, like you've got letter options.
That's so true.
And I love that name.
Morgan?
We need a phone book and just start going through.
Old school.
Just making some calls.
Bob or Bo, So-Bo in Soho.
Now,
Robert, So-Bo in Soho. I got you.
that just gives me like there's a clown theme, and
like that
he's an
sounds like-
adult.
He's definitely an adult clown. He's an adult
Exactly.
entertainer, and not in the way that you're thinking.
Tobias,
Exactly.
Soto in Soho.
Oh, Soto, I like that. I like
can
that.
keep going.
But
I didn't know
Tobias,
that was great.
I'm actually really obsessed with the actor Tobias Menzies. So
There you go.
that tracks.
It's
There
a
you
new
go.
person. It's a new person that you can
And
wait
I-
to see if they'll serve you.
Yeah, and he's in London, so I'd have to, I'll move across the pond for him. But I feel like the reason why I like Dr. Joe is because he gives me a lot of zaddy vibes. Like there is an old soul in there, because I know I'm going to end up with a silver zaddy. I just know these
Yes.
things. But I think that's why he was approximating that energy a little bit. But that's all good things, all good things come to an end,
One quick thing, but speaking of all good things come to an end, one quick thing before, like this podcast episode, which sadly we have to wrap in the next 5 minutes. However, I do want to touch quickly on Mari and Kenny because did anyone else see this coming where they're talking about how they're going to leave the beach and start a new life together?
Well, girl, they talked about it last week, remember? And they were, I believe in the two of them. I believe. Now,
I had whiplash then. I had whiplash last night. I don't see it. I know they'll go to fantasy suites, but I don't see it.
For sure. Well, now, my question is definitely more Mari. I feel like Kenny is pretty straightforward in his thinking, and him saying that he's never felt like this about anyone else.
I believe him.
I believe it with every fiber of my being. Kenny, there's no way, in my opinion, Kenny would ever say anything like that if he didn't mean it. He's pretty direct. Now, if Mari sticks with him, that's more of the question. But I believe that Kenny is here for the future. I believe Kenny's here for marriage.
There's something else to add to that. Like, I mean, that's what I would have said. And the only thing I'm in denial because I hate that she's taking him from you.
I do appreciate that. You know, it's been rough to watch, and it's been hard, you know, to see all of a sudden all of these women just wanting to get to Kenny on the beach, and everyone having this new formed opinion that he is, you know, he is wonderful. But I'm happy for my king that people now see him for who he truly is.
I mean, I caught myself a couple times looking at Kenny like, okay.
Like, I see those hip stars.
I see what Jess is talking about. I'll outlaw no star. Whoa.
I'll put some whipped cream.
We're not here to talk about that.
He does seem like he's a good kisser. I did see them kissing, and I was like, okay.
That's what got me.
I was like, okay. I saw that little, very adept tongue slip.
Yeah.
And he looks like a generous lover. Are the cool kids saying that? Is that what we're
Yes.
He's a generous lover.
He seems like a generous lover, and he seems like he's a fun time. If you watch him on Insta stories, he is at Ross Dress for Less every single week. He doesn't post about it anymore, but he used to. Every week, his favorite place was Ross, and he would film himself going down the escalator to get some new clothes. And I love that for him.
I love that too.
I love that for him.
You know?
And he has a solid investment portfolio, because Tomas helps him with that.
Yes.
Or Tamis.
Tamis helps him
making
with
him
his
sound
portfolio.
European. Tomas. No, it's Tamis.
Tamis. It's Tamis.
Always Tamis, never Tomas.
Exactly.
Oops.
But
if they end up together, I think they could be what I thought Marissa and Riley would have been, just quietly, just riding off to the sunset, being a solid couple, not, you know, putting on a show and actually having a solid relationship. I could see that.
We'll see. We'll see if Mike Kenny leaves engaged.
You guys could have, your couple name would be Jenny, and your wedding hashtag, you could get married on a lake, and it could be hashtag Jenny on the dock.
How? How?
My mind, you know, my mind. It's, you know.
And this is where I leave you. We can't top that.
We can't top it.
I'm still on Sojo and Soho. I'm still on Tamis. You're Jenny on the motherfucking dock.
And honestly, I
and
can
I'm
picture
J-Lo for the rest of the day.
I can picture my lover, Kenny, definitely love cracking up some beers and being on a dock, and he would love a nude wedding.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
fun.
Oh.
A nude wedding.
I do have to toot my own horn, you guys. I came up with my first advertisement logo when I was 8 years old. You can ask my mom. I was in the shower, and I came out and I said, Mom, I have a shampoo commercial tagline. Take the T from Tangle and look at your hair from a new angle. That was I came up with that. At the young, a prodigy at the young age of 8.
Masters in marketing. Who, Pieper?
We have to talk, because I'm like, you're bringing back to my Decca days. And I'm like, I'm right there with you, Becca. I'm right there with you.
Damn.
But that right there is an 8-year-old.
It's-
I know.
Genius.
I know.
You're like, I can't.
A prodigy.
I can't help myself.
What can I say? Anyway,
well,
what a
Sophie,
time we've had.
We love you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you tell the broads, everything will be in the episode notes. Tell the broads where they can find you, what is coming for the future, all these things.
Yes.
You can find me on Instagram only. I can only my elder millennial ass can only handle Instagram. My handle is unpaid_emotional_labor. There you'll see my unhinged hot takes. I am not an influencer by any means and have no allegiance to this franchise. So they're pretty scathing. But I have a lot of people that I converse. They're like, wow, you're right. I didn't want to think this, but yeah, I agree with you. So, and I also mix it in with some socio-political angles. I have a very academic side to me as well, but just go on my page, find out, say hi. In the future, what's coming up, I'm launching a podcast.
Yes.
I'm very excited about. So it's a mixture of unpaid emotional labor. The ethos behind that is really dissecting things that are taken for granted, and that depending on which marginalized identity that you have, and just moving through this life of things that a lot of people just take for granted, and just processing that and the nuances of those things. So we'll cover a host of issues, and it's all anchored with humor and pop culture, and obviously Bachelor breakdowns with my harsh, unhinged takes. That should be dropping off October 18th, the day before Michelle's. Yeah, the day before Michelle's new season of The Bachelorette airs, which I just already know, just from the promo alone, it's giving so much. So it'll be a great season to recap and dissect. And I don't know, I'm just really excited to take up space, but more importantly, just have crucial conversations and, showcase different perspectives and an approachability to things that are hard for people to stomach sometimes. So, yeah.
You cannot wait.
I don't know what I just said. This whole experience has been surreal. I'm going to be driving to my next work meeting and I just made a fool of myself, but it's always a safe space with you too. So I'm just so glad I can be here.
No, you are the best. And we'll definitely, broads, make sure to follow Sophie to stay tuned with her takes, and also the podcast. But then we'll make sure to let you all know when the podcast comes out too. So excited for that.
I appreciate you both so much. It's a great time.
We love you.
We love you,
broads,
Sophie.
we'll chat soon.
Chat soon.